Let's go, 49er faithful. Here we are. End of the regular season is upon us, and the 49ers are going in through the front door going into the playoffs. That's the way you handle business. That's how you roll into the playoffs with momentum. I'm here with my friend Randon McMahon. We are doing Between Two Beards. It is a special episode where we are celebrating the post game of the Arizona Cardinals win by the San Francisco 49ers, coming out on a 10-game win streak. Randon, I seem to remember someone on our program predicting the Niners would win out, but I can't seem to remember who that was.
That would be me, motherfucker. Yeah, let's go. Guessing on the Niners win out. That was yours truly, Between Two Beards, Randon McMahon. Get it done. Let's go, SF. Let's go.
Getting it done. I got to bring in a couple of the comments that were here before we started the live show. Russell Peterson taking light on the fact that haven't had any shows this week. I went to the game in Las Vegas, had a phenomenal time. I will talk about that in a minute, Randon. I went sort of crazy on the ticket that I ended up getting there. I was like, hell, if I'm going to overpay, I'm going to overpay. So I went in. Russell coming in and says, I'm sorry, whose show is this? Rob? I seem to remember that name. Nope, it's not coming to mind. The Stivers Niners 209 show. Rob, we're going to the number 2 seed of Seattle, wins today. Green Bay loses tonight. Seattle travel to Levi Stadium. Yes, the seeding is still to be determined at this point. We're going to keep you updated on that. Raphael 562 Niners Sneakerhead here on the channel. What's up, Rob, Randon, Sneakerheads, and everyone? Beast Mode Gaming coming in to say, I think I got $20 from Randon. Wait, we had a bet.
The game is tied right now. The game is tied. I got 9 wins if the Seahawks win their Beast game.
We've got a wager on the line. Randon's ready to pay up. He's got his Venmo pulled up already. He's just itching. The trigger finger is there. Luke Walsh coming in. Hello, everyone. Peter Lee, what's up, Rob, and everyone. Andre Moore, Sneakerhead here on the channel. Oh, yeah. Now the fun begins. Peter Lee calling out the 10 straight wins. Yes, indeed. Alan, no, I haven't checked the 49ers mailbag. I got to get to that. I will definitely respond. Alan, my apologies. Troy coming in, Sneakerhead here on the channel. We the hottest team out here. I think the Niners, with the 10-game win streak, have set a franchise record. The Niners, the San Francisco 49ers, have never ended the season on a 10-game win streak.
Nobody wants to play us.
Nobody
wants to play us right now. Hey, you know what? I gotta apologize. Real quick.
Apologize away, sir.
To the Beard fans. Hey, I got a life. Rob got a life. I got year-end goals making up. I'm sorry that I wasn't here for the Niners feed. I really apologize because you guys make my week. And I apologize. I really do. But hey, homeboy's got to make us money because somebody's going to Europe for his birthday. And I got to pay those bills. So
yes, sir.
I'm sorry. I apologize.
Hey, absolutely no apologies necessary. The faithful understand, I think, that every now and then you got to have a little bit of a refresher. The holidays came around. Let me tell you the story of Vegas, right? So it was the most ridiculously priced game I've ever seen. For a team playing against the Raiders who didn't have a shot in this one, as we thought going into it, it was ridiculous. And so I said to myself, you can pay a ridiculous amount to have standing room only, or you can pay a really ridiculous amount and sit on the 50-yard line. So I decided to pay the really ridiculous amount. I was 50-yard line, dead center, 16 rows back, perfect angle to see over the cameraman as he goes by. Unfortunately, on the Raiders sideline, but my God, it was VIP, like unlimited drinks, unlimited food. I can't take advantage of that because, I'm not taking the alcohol down. They are making a serious profit off of me in that one, but it was spectacular. Got pictures on the field. Phenomenal stadium. I have to give, hands down, one of the coolest stadiums in the NFL. Just wanted to share that. That is what happened last week. I know I haven't been back since then. The Niners, though, beating the Cardinals today. What do you feel about rolling into the playoffs with the type of momentum that we have right now? What type of fire does that provide in the belly of the Niners players as we match up against whomever it's going to be, whether that's Seattle or Green Bay?
Nobody's beating us. Nobody. I mean, they are literally tying up Aaron Rodgers and saying, "Hey, you my B, ITCH." Like they have no worries. Seattle, we've already beat them twice. Like nobody is coming into this playoffs. Hey, let's get the Niners. Let's bring in the Niners to where we're going, or let's go there. Like nobody's asking for that whatsoever because we are dominating. The only reason the Philadelphia Eagles are strolling into first place because the Giants said, hey, we have nothing to win or lose by this game. Like, they're not confident right now. Like, the only team that is going full bore, gaskets blazing, is the Niners, and everybody better watch out.
It is. So what I'm blown away by at Gerardo Sanchez coming in to say, love my Niners. I do too. I love your Niners. I love my Niners. I love all the Niners. This team is just so lovable. I was saying that during this game, that it's this cast of characters that we've put together. It's this all-star team. It's this roster that just top to bottom is fun to watch, is animated, and is full of star power. When I look at a game as we started to transpire today, and Arizona is coming out and they toss that freaking 77-yarder to open the game, it's like, oh no, is the defense going to continue to leak like a sieve in this one? But the offense comes out and steps up with a healthy Debo, with a healthy Elijah Mitchell, rejoining the cast that we already had over the last streak of games. It feels like our offense could actually carry a game or two in the playoffs. And that's exciting. It takes the pressure off of the team. The defense doesn't always have to be the one shutting it down and then getting gassed in the fourth quarter. This feels like a complete team. Are you feeling the same vibe?
I am feeling the same vibe. Now, defense. Don't take the brakes off, man. Let's murder some people. Let's take some heads off some people in the playoffs, because I don't want to depend solely on Brock Purdy. But, man, Purdy's answered the call. I mean,
okay, so
you can't.
That's one of the questions that I have here for the playoffs. In watching this defense, it feels like we are super aggressive, and some teams are able to make us pay, particularly at the right cornerback spot, right? They're picking on Diamador Lenore, and he's right there. I see it much like Ambry Thomas in his rookie season, where he's in position, he's within inches of making the play, a pass breakup, and just fails to do so. I didn't think he was out of position on that throw to AJ Green. He was right there, 6 inches different, and he taps that thing away. I believe that it could benefit the 49ers to play a little bit more conservatively on defense now that the offense is cooking. But then I start to second guess myself. I think, no, the advantage of this defense is its aggression. It's its teeth. It's getting after the quarterback. It's forcing those 4 turnovers like we did today. Going into the playoffs, do you want to see DeMeco Ryans continue to be aggressive or play it kind of safe when we come up against some of these superstar quarterbacks?
Yeah, I want the Viking attitude. I want us to sail in, blow the blowhorn, and let's raid the fuck out of whoever we're playing. Let's sack, let's pillage, let's do whatever we need to do, because the Niners defense is here to go. Like, no team's got anywhere near what we got. I mean, I've been playing it safe and given the analysis, what's going on here, back and forth. This team could be this team could be that, but nobody's coming in close to the Niners. Yeah. And I hope we demolish everybody. I hope we are Kid Buu and we absorb everybody in Dragon Ball Z, and we're one-on-one with Goku, because nobody can stop us. Nobody can stop us right now, and it's inevitable.
It looks like, so the Eagles have now won. So the Eagles winning means that the 49ers are definitely playing next weekend. Next weekend is the weird NFL coming in with 3 days of games, right? There's Saturday games, there's Sunday games, and there's a Monday night game. So the Eagles winning mean the Niners are locked in at that 2 seed, and the Seahawks are about to kick a field goal in overtime. Seahawks win. I believe that puts them in the 7th seed. I believe that means Seattle would be coming. Maybe that depends upon the win tonight, what Green Bay does.
I think if Seattle wins, that means Green Bay's 7, no matter what.
Interesting. Very interesting. I'm going to bring in a couple of super chats here. Rigger 49er coming in says, bang, bang, Niner gang. The Empire is striking back. The quest for 6 is on and cracking. Nobody has it better than us. The dogs are coming out the yard. I love how Rigged 49er fit in like every saying you could. It's fantastic.
Yeah,
man, who let the dogs out? Kyle Shanahan did on this offense, and DeMeco Ryans on the defense. It is wild. All right,
hey,
Kevin.
I want to say this.
Yes.
I said that I would never pay for a running back.
You did say that, and then we paid a lot for this one.
But if we did, I hope it plays like Christian McCaffrey, because that dog is fucking balling, and he is fantastic. I'm eating my words in the glorious way possible. He's been fantastic.
Love it.
Offense. I love it.
Peter Lee calling out Ayuk hits the 1,000-yard receiving total. I need to revisit the predictions I made at the beginning of the year. Bosa came close to hitting the 20 sacks I predicted. Ayuk did hit the 1,000 yards I predicted. George Kittle did not hit the 1,000 yards I predicted. But with all those touchdowns, I feel like it adds up. Kevin coming in from Glasgow says, K, I'll tone it down. Some of the earlier comments must have been spicy. He says, thought this was an after dark show. It's 12:30 a.m. here, so profanity is allowed. We're in the playoffs. Fuck yeah, profanity is allowed. I apologize to any children watching, but this is celebratory time, and it must happen. Sean 951 Niners coming in from 4,100 feet. He says, hello from 4,100 feet on my way to my 41,000 feet, not 4,100. On my way to Miami. I watched the game on the plane, $29 for Wi-Fi. LOL. Bring on Green Bay. Defense needs to be special in the playoffs. Yeah, the defense is the piece that, feels like the last couple of games, they haven't quite been on their stellar path, but you see them forcing the 4 turnovers today. What was your vibe? 2 weeks in a row now, backup quarterbacks having success against this number 1 defense. What's your takeaway from that?
I think that the fact that we have been so suppressive all year long, and like there's a little, like that's the expectation, to be like just choking somebody out, to where we have little blips here and there. People are like, oh, this team's been exposed, this or that. The only team that exposed this all year was the Chiefs. And they exposed a lot of people.
They did.
So I'm not worried about it. If we get to the Super Bowl and we're playing the Chiefs, hey, coin flip at that point. But nobody in the NFC worries me. Outside of Jalen Hurts at his premium, nobody else worries me. Cowboys today, I watched the Cowboys game. Garbage. They were straight garbage today. I'm not afraid of CeeDee Lamb. I'm not afraid of anybody else. Now, when we come straight out, this team has nothing to worry about until the Super Bowl. If we play the Chiefs or the Bills, hats off. Plenty of crosses, playing down, performing sacrifices. Anybody got any extra chickens that I could, But, hey, I'm not worried about anybody in the NFC.
Yes, I agree. I think that there are some teams that we're going to have to bring our A game for, but nobody that I have fears about, whereas the AFC is clearly the more ferocious conference, and where I think that you've got more teams that match up well against the 49ers. We have conflicting opinions, and I can't get into the playoff machine while I'm trying to do the live. So if anyone wants to play with it, we've got Luke Walsh saying, I think if Seattle wins, the Niners play them next weekend. I think I've heard that, but Charles Alt also indicating if Green Bay wins, they're in. Don't know if they then jump to the 6th seed, but I don't think so. I think the Giants are locked into that 6th, and it's between...
If Seattle loses and Detroit wins, they're in.
Seattle has officially won now.
They're in, yeah.
Seattle, according to Hound 594, Seattle has won, and I can confirm that going to the scores on ESPN that, in fact, yes, the Seahawks 19-16, eking it out. So it could be that Seattle is coming in to play the 49ers. Terry Wright coming in says, Schuh, welcome back. Evening, Randon. Missed the show. Smash that like button. Appreciate it. Yes, do us that favor. Hit the like button. Amplify that signal for us. Bullpup 33 coming in, Rob. The youth movement brings it in 2022. This team, man, an offensive line that we didn't know how it was going to look turned out to be a phenomenal group. A running back room that is just amazingly deep with the surprise addition of Christian McCaffrey. The offense losing 2 quarterbacks, stumbling upon Mr. Irrelevant Brock Purdy, carrying this team to an elite level offense. It has been spectacular. So amazing to watch. I'm just thrilled to be on this ride, Randon. I want to be in the moment, appreciative of what it is that we're seeing right now.
We are on the Viking ship invading England right now. That's what we're doing. This is unprecedented terms. 3rd quarterback, never been done. Rookie, Mr. Irrelevant, never been done. If we win the Super Bowl, this is Viking ship territory, advancing to the new world, invading everybody that we can, conquering, slaying people, all this kind of stuff, because the Niners are here to stay. The Niners are here for 6. I love it. I love this team right now. I love it. And that's why I predicted they would win out. You were like, hey, They might lose here. And I said that too. I thought they might lose to Washington, which they were close. They were close.
You said if they were going to lose, you thought Washington was the most likely suspect. But you were fairly staunch in your opinion of winning out. I was a waffle. I was a waffle like an Eggo in the toaster. I was caving constantly. I thought that for sure we would have one blip on the radar.
No, nobody does. That's
unbelievable.
You're an analyst. You're supposed to be reasonable. I was not.
This is what Raphael is calling out here. This is incredible. To go 6-0 in the division. I hadn't called that out yet, but Niners do. Just huge. And we've got clarity, I think, with a few people agreeing on it. This matches what I believe to be true. Sean 951 Niners coming in. If Green Bay wins, they are in. Raphael 562 echoing that. Packers win, they're in. So I think right now, as Seattle win, they should vaunt into the
Dallas
7 seed.
Or Detroit has nothing to play for.
Right.
So they can't, because Seattle wins, they have nothing to play for outside of spoilers. So do they want to play for spoilers or they're grown men. They probably want to win for pure staunch or pure, machismo, but
yeah,
they have nothing to win for as far as the playoffs goes.
Yeah, Sean 951 Niners doubling down says, hey, Green Bay wins, they're in. We play Seattle only if Green Bay loses. Seattle will have that 7th seed. This is a very exciting freaking day. The Niners are headed into the playoffs. I need to know what day they're going to be playing, because right now I've got tentative hotel reservations to go see the Niners playing. I got 2 nights, 3 nights, because I don't know which day we're going to be playing on. I hope it's not the Monday night game. That kind of screws with the work week. I'm kind of hoping that it's a Saturday game hosted at Levi Stadium. I will be there. Someone asked about the ridiculous price that I paid for the Raiders ticket. Let me just say, I think I will probably pay less for my ticket to the Niners playoff game than I did to last week's game in Las Vegas. It was stupid. Randall Riley coming in. He says, hey, Purdy's arm's still looking strong. I think Randall's trying to entice you here, Randon, trying to get the conversation back to the arm strength, but I'm not going to allow it.
No, there's multiple people. Yeah, there's multiple people in the chat. Sean 91, he's winning games. Did I say not he could win games? Does he have the best arm of all time? No, he doesn't. But I said he could win games. Get off it. Niners fans, we're winning.
Let's go.
You want to come at me? Come at me. That's fine. But he doesn't have a great arm, and he's shown that this game, even though we won. So come on. What are we talking about here? W's or not W's? You want W's?
W's. We're talking W's. Okay. Luke Walsh coming in says that little Purdy to Debo 10-yard pass might look routine, but replays show it was great quarterbacking. I have seen many instances with Brock Purdy wherein he makes surprisingly heady plays for a rookie quarterback, wherein he escapes with his feet, wherein he slides around in the pocket. I continue to be impressed with what he's showing week in and week out. It is, I've said it multiple times this year. I'll continue to say it each week in the playoffs. The tests do increase at this point. The tests continue because the playoff atmosphere is very real in the NFL. The level of pressure that exists in the playoffs is next. It's ratcheted up. It is significantly more than what he's experiencing right now. But we have the momentum, and I think that's critical rolling into the playoffs. BCB is here to stay. Yes, he is. Bullpup 33. Yes, he is. Russell calling out nosebleeds were 700. I was walking into the stadium, one of those guys who's just selling right next to the stadium where you hope it's a real ticket, but maybe it's not. He was selling standing room only, no seat, $250. That was his rock bottom price. Yeah. It's ridiculous. Ridiculous.
Show up that next one right there.
Getting in the super chat.
Yeah.
We got Hound 594 says, hey Rob, who's got it better than us? Nobody.
That's old school right here. I'm throwing out something here right now. We got to get a new hashtag going, because that's the modern thing, Twitter stuff. Irrelevancy. Hashtag irrelevancy, because Mr. Irrelevant it's kind, it's subtle. Hashtag irrelevancy, because everybody knows if you're a Niners fan, you know what that's going about. Hashtag irrelevancy. That's what I'm going for. Playoffs going forward. Hashtag irrelevancy. I don't know, Rob, are you down with that?
Absolutely down with that. Mr. Irrelevant is the most relevant player on this team right now. The San Francisco 49ers playing with a third string quarterback should not be in the position they are. They should not be the favorites within the NFC. They should not be a legitimate contender for the Super Bowl. And yet they are, because of coming across Brock Purdy, because of the relevance of Mr. Irrelevant. So yes, I'm all about irrelevancy. I think we should get that trending. Anyone who is currently watching, you can splash that all over the place. Twitter,
hashtag
Instagram,
irrelevancy.
wherever you can throw a hashtag.
Relevancy 49? You want to do relevancy 49? To get
relevancy 49? Hey, you make it happen, man. You are the hashtag man.
Relevancy 49. Let's do it. Let's do it,
Relevancy 49. All right, Rigged 49er coming in with the next super chat says Debo and the gang are coming on their beach cruiser to snatch chains and souls and Super Bowl rings. The next dynasty is about to start. Let's fucking go. Yes, the last pick of the game where all the defenders go down to get the picture taken, you see Debo slide in. He's on the freaking ground, smiling, cheesing with the defense. Only Debo can get away with that, sliding in to take pictures with the defense when they are turning it over on the other side of the ball. I just love the vibe of this team. The attitude that you see, the smiles on the faces, it lights me up, man, because we've been through some tough years with these 49ers. We've watched heartbreak in 2019. We've seen it again last year in the NFC Championship game. That steals players for moments like this. It builds character. It allows them to now rise above it and claim the glory. And here we are, start of the dance with a ticket and a chance to do just that.
Debo was calling FaceTiming Nick Bosa. He was FaceTiming Brock Purdy with little kids. He was doing this. He was doing the, hey, let's FaceTime it up. Hey, this team is connected. And that's one thing. Hey, Rigger Niner, snatching chains and souls. I like it too. Let's have that. Hey, we're here for blood. We're here for blood and glory, Viking nature. Let's do it. I'm all about it because I think this team is connected. I think this team is all about each other. I think this team is close as they can be. Hey, Debo got paid. He wasn't ever away from the Niners. He wanted his. Great for him.
He deserved his.
He deserved his. Hey, the rest of this team, they got Brock Purdy. They got Trey Lance. They got Jimmy Garoppolo. Whoever's behind the helm, they got him. This team has a nucleus. And if you are a science person, you know a nucleus is the center of any sort of being because this team can't be messed with. They have all that, the center being right now.
Clearly, you were a science major at the university level. I'm guessing Harvard as the school of attendance there for that education.
No,
Josh Cook.
slightly less at San Diego State. Shout out to
hey, ain't nothing wrong with San Diego State, baby. Josh Cook, sneakerhead here on the channel, says, Rob Schuh, curious what your opinion is. Would you rather have the 49ers play the Packers or the Seahawks for a third time this year? Very excited. We wrapped up the 2 seed. I got to be honest, between those two matchups, I would much rather roll through Seattle. The Packers right now are one of those teams that they're warm. They're hot, right? They are rolling into the playoffs with momentum, much like the 49ers, different level of momentum. I would rather have Seattle travel in. I think we are a far better team than the Seattle Seahawks. Yes, it's a division opponent. Yes, they know us very well. Yes, Pete Carroll is an SOB, but so is Aaron Rodgers. And I think between those two, I would rather play the Seahawks. If you've got a choice, Randon, who do you want to see next week? You want the Packers to win and face Aaron Rodgers one last time, or do you want Seattle coming in to Santa Clara?
Yeah. Seahawks, not even a choice.
Yep.
You always take the worst quarterback. Aaron Rodgers, I understand. Everybody's like, oh, we own the Packers for this. Quarterbacks make the NFL.
That is a great point.
And if Aaron Rodgers is going to do anything against the Niners, he's going to do it when he wants to. Like, hey, I think it was, a couple years ago where we were up by a touchdown with 47 seconds left, and he marched down the field like nothing. He cut through just like butter and won the game. So, yeah. I know Geno Smith is having a comeback player of the year. I hashtag CMC for comeback player of the year, but
CMC,
but he's on that range. But no, Packers. I don't want any part of that. I know they don't have any receivers that match up against our corners.
Yeah,
I know they don't have the running backs to go against our defense, which they do because Aaron Jones and AJ Dillon are phenomenal. But
Yeah, especially as you're getting into the colder
Aaron
weather.
Rodgers. It's Aaron Rodgers. Like, I just don't understand. Like, yeah, we've beat him multiple times, but you don't want to tempt fate,
No,
right? You
you
don't want to
really
tempt
don't.
fate.
I like what Jovan is saying here, that neither one can be taken too lightly. Both need to be taken seriously. Says, I don't like the matchup against the Packers, but I wouldn't want to play a divisional rival either. But let's go Niners. Relevant 6 is the hashtag he's rolling with. I'm with it. Raphael562 Niners sneakerhead here on the channel says, is the offense going to carry the defense? I don't know that they're going to, but what it strikes me as is that they could. There could be a game wherein someone like a Josh Allen, a Patrick Mahomes, or even a Dak Prescott is having a good game, putting up significant yards against the 49ers, maybe picking on that right cornerback spot. A good quarterback and a good offensive coordinator will target a weakness within a defense. The 49ers do have such a weakness at this point. Diamador Lenore is the weaker link as it exists because it's so strong on the other side. So within that, you could see a game wherein the offense has to outperform a gunslinger on the other side, our defense being unable to stop it. And for the first time this season, after this streak, after watching Brock Purdy continue to mature week in, week out, I feel as though the offense could carry the Niners in a game like that.
They definitely could. I don't expect it to. And I think if Mosley was healthy, nobody would even question this, right? Because Lenore has been the only person roasted in the last couple of weeks, and Hufanga.
Yes.
And you know what, Hufanga, that's fine, because I will take the aggressiveness. I will take the good with the bad. I will take all that stuff. And we talked about it. What, I think it was like 6 podcasts ago or like a couple months ago. But you take the good with the bad because he's going to create those things. And outside of our team last year, Trayvon Diggs was talked about as Defensive Player of the Year because he had 9 interceptions. But he gave up the most yards ever in the history of the NFL as a cornerback. So, like, turnovers and big plays are positive and a negative thing. And he's given up a lot of routes. He's given up a lot of big plays and touchdowns with Hufanga. And I think that's something to walk about. And Lenore as well. Man, if Mosley was here, this team wouldn't even be thought about. Like, this team would be the favorite by bar none.
By a country mile. No doubt about it. That was
Rob,
for this defense, that was a tragic injury. No doubt.
Hey, Rob, I didn't mean to cook bacon in between our podcasts, but my bacon is ready. Give me 1 second.
Get that bacon. All right, I'm getting to the comments. Rigged 49ers says snatching chains and souls. Get that hashtag going. Snatching chains and souls. Keith Baldwin saying Lenore is atrocious. I'm not feeling that badly about Diamador Lenore. I think he is the weak link on this defense, but that's not saying a whole lot because this defense is phenomenal. So being the weakest link on a very strong chain does not necessarily mean that you are in fact atrocious. He's getting targeted a lot because he is that weakest link. But I'm not going to go so far as to say that Diamador Lenore can't play corner, can't make some plays. It is atrocious. I think he is, again, he's the one who's prone to be attacked within any offensive scheme coming up against the 49ers. But that has far more to do with Mooney Ward on the other side being a lockdown corner than it has to do with Diamador Lenore being trash of any sort.
Yeah, bacon calls or answers to no one, and I'm sorry about that, but it's ready to go. So,
well, I mean, most importantly, will you be consuming some of the bacon on the show? I think the people want to see it. The caretaker says, let's fucking go.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I was trying to do a chicken, egg, and bacon sandwich for the nighttime. Whoever says breakfast is just for breakfast is it's blasphemy. You got to have the eggs anywhere you can have the eggs, man. Breakfast is ready to go 24/7. I love it. Bacon, egg, and cheese sandwich is what I was doing for dinner. So,
hey, that's a phenomenal freaking sandwich to do for dinner. I had a bacon, egg, and cheese for lunch. So it's clearly the bacon, egg, and cheese sandwich that is helping the Niners win. We found part of the recipe. By the way, I wanted to bring it up earlier. I think it was, who came in that had Allen. All right, so Allen's doing the good deed. Allen Eliza, sneakerhead here on the channel. For the last 10 games, I've been wearing my number 80 Jerry Rice jersey. I will keep wearing it all the way to the end of the Niners season. Debo that like button. Bring on Wild Card Weekend.
Your sacrifice is not unknown right here. There, thank you, Alan. Appreciate it.
So long as Allen is wearing that jersey, I'm feeling good about our chances. I also have found the right combination of clothing to wear very clearly as this streak continues. And ashamedly, or not ashamedly, proudly, I will not be washing the shirt that I'm wearing right now, Brandon. It will get ranker and ranker as the playoffs go, and that will be the magic juice, so to speak. Let's hope that there's not actual juices flowing from the shirt, but there might be by that point. We're talking a series of weeks here, sir, and I get pretty aggravated on game days.
So let's do this. Hey, I know this is a hockey tradition, but we are between two beards. Are we not trimming this beard until we lose?
Not trimming the beard? I mean, I barely trim this thing as is. You just got to keep it going. I feel like that could be trouble for me with the length I already have going on. I'll tell you what. I will do the no trim of the beard. Can you trim the mustache? Can you continue to keep the hair off the lip?
The lip has got to be open, for kisses.
Okay,
for
perfect.
Steaks, whatever. Yeah.
For steaks. Let's be clear. It's for eating. It's for consuming things. Raphael 5629ers coming in to say Jordan Willis, the silent assassin. I freaking love this guy. I love his attitude. I love the playoff play that he made against the Packers last year. I love him coming in and being the silent assassin in this game. I love the fact that he's a soft-spoken dude that, Nick Bosa has to talk up in the locker room. Fantastic. Chris Ray coming in with a super chat. One game at a time. We'll be ready for anyone. Anyone that comes our way, we don't even care. We are going to play the next indicated game. Is there any chance this team overlooks anybody, Randon? Or have they had a couple of punches in the mouth by some backup quarterbacks these last 2 weeks that maybe woke them up a bit and say, hey, regardless of who you're playing, whether it's the Raiders with a third stringer or the Cardinals with a third stringer, like you've got to be ready to play because they're giving you their best swing.
I don't think anybody's overlooking anybody in the playoffs.
Yes. Got to get hyped for the playoffs.
Yeah, you got to get hyped for the playoffs. It's do or die. Hey, by the way, I might be in Europe for the Super Bowl.
You might be in Europe for the Super Bowl?
I'm going for my birthday, man. I'm going to Europe for my birthday. So
I recall that. I didn't realize the overlap was there because I hadn't done the math of when the playoffs come in and when you will be there. I'll tell you what. My father was in Paris. He tells this story all the time. He was in Paris for one of the Super Bowls, and he relives the moment of touchdown Jerry Reese all the time from the 80s. So maybe that's the magic, is watching that game. Maybe number 6 is given to us by the fact that you are watching in some foreign language where all you can understand is Brock Purdy, and all of a sudden, the Niners are up.
Deebo Samuel.
Yeah. Yes. I am absolutely here for it. Here for it.
Yeah. The smaller
yes.
bear, right?
Yes. I'm here with Peter Lee as well. Says, hey, Tayshaun Gibson has been a gemstone safety that we picked up beginning from the offseason, and we got him for cheap, starting with the practice squad at first and now as a solid safety. I criticize this move. I thought it was crazy not to bring back Jimmy Ward in order to play safety opposite of Huff. And yet, Jimmy Ward in the nickel, Tayshaun Gibson back there at safety. That is absolutely the combination that has been working for the 49ers. By the way, to answer Taylor coming in to ask, will I be selling this shirt? It would go for an astronomical figure at the end of the season. I mean, with all of that playoff luck, Super Bowl going on in the Niners shirt, it's got some date to it as well. Let me tell you, we might have to auction that off for charity. We'll see if we can't get it going.
I think Taylor likes a little bit of Rob, it's like Feet Finder. She wants a little bit of that musk that made the magic happen. That's what I'm talking about.
A little bit of the musk. Bullpup 33 coming in just to do the good deed of laying down the super chat. But we're getting to your next comment. Bullpup 33 he says, anytime, anywhere, baby. Yes. Look at this. John Neville's coming in. Brock 30. All right. So coming up, let's say the Niners are playing. Who do you think wins tonight? All right. Detroit. You're right. They have nothing to play for.
We're playing Green Bay. We're playing Green Bay.
You think Green Bay's? I struggle because a team, the Dan Campbell's team, isn't going to give up and roll over, right? Detroit has been hot. maybe they're just going to bang up Green Bay. Maybe that's going to help us. Maybe Detroit is going to batter and bruise them, and Green Bay will lose the next week, much like all 15 teams that played the Niners this year, right? Wasn't it 15 in a row where teams that played us the next week, or 15-0 teams that played us lost the next freaking week? It's wild.
I think so, but we got to talk about, because we've already talked about Seattle multiple times.
We've talked about Seattle.
We have never talked about Green Bay at all. I mean, Aaron Rodgers, who is he, right? Like, who is
Aaron Rodgers? What? That sounds like a familiar name. I recall him saying something about wanting to make the 49ers pay for some reason or other.
Well, pay what? Drinkets, Takari, like a life forces. I don't know what he's trying to do here, but but the Niners, no, that's who I'm worried about. I'm worried about Green Bay, because Aaron Rodgers, he is one of the greatest quarterbacks to ever play the game. As much as Niner fans want to troll him and all that kind of stuff.
Oh, we talk a lot of trash.
Yeah, he's one of the greatest to ever do it. They have two of the top 15 running backs in the NFL, in my opinion, in A.J. Dillon and Aaron Jones. And you have deep threats who have burned the Niners on multiple accounts this season. In the draft darling that was the Niners, Christian Watson, right?
Yeah,
like everybody thought that we should take him. Man, I mean, I don't want that that smoke. I don't want that headline. But wouldn't that be fucking facetious if? Well, the facetious is even the word. I don't even know what that word is. But wouldn't that be ironic if Christian Watson smoked the Niners for a touchdown to win the game? And that
would be brutal. He certainly has come on in the latter half of the season, no doubt about it. A couple of chats that I want to bring in: Beast Mode Gaming, upgrading, rejoining, adding for the first time. He's the newest upgrade Sneakerhead member in here. Alan Elizer welcoming him to the crew. Yes, welcome as the latest Sneakerhead. Beast Mode Gaming. Always appreciate your contributions. All right, Rigger 49er coming in with a question.
Hold on. Hold up, Brandon. Hold the mother effing phones. Now that the Seahawks game is concluded, I need $40, 20 from Beast Mode and 20 from 9/11 Niners, wherever he's in the chat. You owe me money. Brandon is collecting live on air. Hold the phones. Here's my Venmo. I want it mailed to me immediately. The Seahawks have won. Brandon, I think that's fantastic. Fantastic collection services happening live. Rigger 49er. Rob, what are they saying about Jimmy in the playoffs? Just in case something happens, we need the backup situation strong in the playoffs. I don't know if he's going to be ready early on, or whether it's like an NFC Championship, Super Bowl type of thing. But the idea that they didn't ever have to put him on IR, that injuries didn't force our hand there, means that it's a possibility. And you're not switching away from Brock, right? No matter what happens, if Jimmy's ready at some point, he's still in the wings in my mind. You stick with the hot hand. Kyle Shanahan is a hot hand kind of guy. Almost every coach in the NFL is. You've got a winning streak going on, a quarterback playing very well within the season, within the system. I would expect Brock Purdy to continue playing. So it just becomes that safety net. And so it's a net positive in my mind.
Relevancy 49 is my hashtag right here, because Brock Purdy is the guy. And
Relevancy 49.
All it is Jimmy Garoppolo is better than Josh Johnson. Like if you're in the Super Bowl and God forbid Purdy, gets injured, would you rather have Jimmy G or would you rather have Josh Johnson?
Yeah, like that's a fairly
as much as all this hoopla over Trey Lance, Jimmy Garoppolo, Purdy next year, this year, that year, whatever. Get the fuck out of here, because in the Super Bowl, you'd rather have Jimmy Garoppolo over Josh Johnson. And that's all I'm saying is that whether they go for Jimmy in with no rest, that's not your decision. But the two best quarterbacks on this team, if they're healthy, are Jimmy Garoppolo and Brock Purdy. So they both need to be on the roster. And if whoever starts, that's not my decision. We can debate that, but it's better than Josh Johnson. And Jimmy Garoppolo should be there.
1,000%. Also, I agree with Raphael 5629ers after watching Purdy. He does have a weakness to his game, and it might be the quarterback sneak. Number 10 only comes in for quarterback sneaks. Because Jimmy, I'll tell you what, Jimmy is in that Tom Brady category of how good he is at the quarterback sneak. He learned from the best. Brady does it like nobody's business. When it's 4th and 1, Brady freaking gets it. Jimmy does too.
Well, that was Brendel's problem, right? Like,
yeah,
that was
the goal line, not blocking low.
No, that was a double tap. Like, he hiked it and then put it back and hiked it again. Like,
oh, I didn't even see that.
Yeah, that was
rough.
The reason for the penalty. Yeah, the only way you can get offside penalty as a center is.
Oh no, sorry, I was talking about the one where he tries to go over the top at the goal line and get stuffed. Yeah, so 2 unsuccessful. Yeah. Jimmy would never. Just bring him in for those.
Jimmy's the golden.
All right, Raphael 562 asking a question now, says, what was your favorite touchdown today? For me, it was the Kittle one where he was oh so pretty, left corner of the end zone, goes up, catches it, drags both freaking feet as he's going, just pretty along the goal line. That was by far my favorite. I will say I wish Jordan Mason had been able to retain that touchdown. It felt like a weak overturn to me. The visual evidence seemed to be inconclusive. I thought they should have stuck with the call on the field, but that did net George Kittle yet another touchdown. Was the Kittle touchdown in the left corner of the end zone your favorite as well, Randon, or did you pick one of the others?
No, that was my favorite as well. Sorry, I dropped a screwdriver on my foot.
You got orange juice all over the ground now, or what?
No, screwdriver, as in like
not a drink, screwdriver. But a real screwdriver. I just figured you meant vodka.
No,
what partying?
A drinker? Yeah. No, I just think that, hey, like I said earlier, I forgive Chris McCaffrey for being a running back. I forgive.
So kind of you.
I forgive John Lynch for making that trade, because nobody should pay a running back that amount of money or give up that amount of draft picks for him. But he's been fantastic.
He has 10 been
touchdowns in 11 games, over, I think it's 75 yards receiving per game. And that's what we talked about, Rob. He needs to be that kind of guy. And I think that there's nobody else worthy of. What the fuck was your real question, man? Like, I'm talking about Chris McCaffrey here, because
right.
I get on a rant.
Lost his train of thought. You tried to bring it back around. It was a noble effort. I could see you searching for a way in which to tie it back into the original thought. It's gone, my friend. All right, we're looking for any topics from the chat. Feel free to put in at Rob, at Randon, if you want to bring in those topics, much like Raphael 5629ers did again here. It says, Niners going to see Rodgers again and say, how many times do we got to teach you this lesson, old man? Let us hope we can do that to Aaron Rodgers. I think I'd love to see Detroit knock Green Bay out tonight. I would love to see that, and then see Seattle coming in. I know that is your preferred matchup as well. Let's talk about this, because we have it.
Early predictions.
Early prediction?
How many wins for Detroit next year?
Ooh, an early prediction for Detroit wins next year. They feel like the type of team that
11 plus, 12 plus?
That should take the next step, but I've got my doubts. I know that's mean of me to say.
All right, so over and under. I'll do over and under here for you. Give me over.
Okay, hit me, and I'll bet it. By the way, I crushed it on the Niners over for Vegas last week. Just crushed that bet. Absolutely crushed it.
Over under Lions wins next season, 10.5.
10.5, I'm going under. Had you gone 9.5, I would have been perplexed, because I really think they're in that 9-10 win range. I don't
Minnesota's
think they're going to catapult up. What's that?
You think Minnesota? Why do you think that they won't take that catapult?
I think that it is going to be tough to overcome Minnesota. I still believe in a team like Green Bay, even if they have to make the transition at quarterback. It is a tough division that seems to beat up on one another. Even Chicago could take a next step if Justin Fields can start to, be himself.
Can we kibosh that the Bears should take a quarterback first overall?
Yeah, absolutely. Give the man a chance. Justin Fields has shown the physical skill set. Yeah. I agree.
Let's trade back. All right.
Texas Niner has this one. He says, Rob, have y'all talked about coach of the year, Kyle Shanahan, or who's DP? Who are we talking about DP here?
I don't know.
I don't know. Texas
Kyle
Niner, help.
Shanahan.
It should be Kyle Shanahan. I don't even need to know who DP is.
Three quarterbacks in one season,
right?
10 straight to end the season. Like it's Kyle Shanahan. I don't care.
It's Kyle Shanahan by a wide margin. It has to be. It absolutely has to be. We got a couple of super chats. Kevin from Glasgow coming in. LOL. What was the question? Yes, Kevin has forgotten it as well. It turned out it was irrelevant. Random made like 7 really good points while forgetting what the original question was. Yeah. Elvis coming in from Australia. What's up, Elvis? Good to see you, my friend. I hope to get a sneakerhead call going very soon, and I hope to see you on one in the near future as well. Elvis says, "G'day, gents, and what a game. Props to Kyle for calling a great game. It feels great, baby. Sweeping the conference. Let's go, Niners." Elvis, thank you for the contribution. It does feel great to go 6-0. I'd like to know within the NFL record books, just how frequently that has happened, going undefeated within the division. It's obviously happened several times within 8 divisions over the years, but it is one of those accomplishments that should be celebrated because it is challenging to do. These are teams that know you exceedingly well and play very tough. Even today, with the Cardinals being vastly outmatched, they were playing violently. There was physical aggression going on in this game that had heightened emotions to it.
I think you're right. I think division games are of the utmost importance. That's why the NFL puts them as the last game of the season, right? Like
yes, so cool that they do that now.
Yeah. So, but I want to throw this to you. Like, I think Elvis kind of spurred this in my mind. What do you think about McVay as a chance of him retiring?
That's wild to me. By the way, just to clarify, it was Doug Peterson. That makes sense. The Philly coach. Yeah. No, sorry. Doug Peterson's no longer in Philly. Who's Doug with now? Why am I blanking on that?
Jaguars.
Yes. That's interesting. Okay, so ask me your question one more time. I just forgot the question. Let's bring this up again. LOL. What was the question, sir?
Yeah. No, I'm saying, like, you look at like division games are so important, but the biggest division rival for the Niners in the last couple of years have been the Rams. What do you think about McVay potentially retiring? He said he has so much stuff. His grandfather, his wife, his this and that.
Yeah.
The pressure of rebounding after a Super Bowl season, like it almost feel like he said it based on the way he said his quote was that, hey, I gave my all for a Super Bowl. Like I put all it in. Like I sacrificed my relationships. I sacrificed this. I sacrificed that. And I won the Super Bowl. And now, like after this loss, after this defeating season, I don't know what my life is like. And I feel like everybody can relate, but you're a coach for an NFL team. So where does that rank for you?
Coaching for an NFL team that's in one of the hottest markets, right, in the country as far as being able to live in Los Angeles, the exposure that gets you. This one is complicated for me. From the human perspective, I absolutely get it, and I actually applaud Sean McVay. I think it's wonderful. 2 things are wonderful. One, that he's even considering it, that he's taking into account his own mental health above and beyond the glory of being an NFL coach, because it would be easy to say, hey, I have this prestigious job. I need to keep it because I'm at a certain level and I've got status and I've got to maintain that status. Instead, he has asked himself, what are my actual priorities in life? If I'm talking about fulfillment, if I'm talking about happiness, and that's relative to the amount of stress that I feel from my job, then perhaps it does make sense to walk away from what is a lucrative career, although I'm sure he's got an ace in his back pocket from some Fox or ESPN or NFL network saying, hey, we'll give you $8 million a year.
Not to cut you off, but he's already been touted by multiple networks to be an analyst. So yeah,
he's gold, man. That podcast he does with Peter Schrager, he is gifted at speaking into the microphone, and he's a handsome dude, right? So he's going to be behind the camera, and he's going to be making tons of money doing it, just like John Lynch whenever he wants to walk away from being GM of the 49ers. I also think that it's a little weak on one level because the Rams sort of mortgaged everything to make a short-term run, and now that it's kind of falling apart and they don't have the assets to rebuild, to be like, well, I'm feeling some stress, I'm going to walk away from this, and then probably come back into the league 2 years from now to a team that has plenty of assets and spend those assets to rebuild that team instead of doing it in LA. That's the one part I struggle with. But regardless of whether I struggle with that or not, Sean McVay should do what is right for him. I would be a little bit surprised if he walked away, but not shocked.
He's soft. In my opinion.
He's soft. I like the bold comment, sir.
Yeah, because, hey, I understand it. I have mental issues myself. Rob and I talk about after this all the time off our podcast about, our personal lives and all that kind of stuff. I get it. Everybody's has shit going on. But for you to just leave a team, if that's what he does, if
yes,
you leave,
you're saying if in the hypothetical,
you little bitch, you like you had everything given to you. You got extended. You brought this team to Super Bowl. You're doing all this kind of stuff. You're being a little bitch right now. Like, I don't understand it. Like, I don't understand it. Like, this team is behind you, and you're just gonna sacrifice that lamb and just leave it to go to another team and do that kind of stuff. Like, can't you rebuild? I thought you were the offensive mastermind. I thought you were this genius. I thought you were the heir apparent to Kyle Shanahan, but you aren't unless you can have a backing of all this money and all this draft picks and all this players. Like, McVay, like, I hope you get healthy in whatever you want to get to, but if this is all about football, if this is nothing about your family, if it's all about football, in your opinion, fuck you.
Jesus, Randon.
Because
Randon is on one. Randon
is
feeling the energy.
Because you won a Super Bowl and now you're all dangling in the wind. Rebound, my man. Rebound and let's go.
I agree with the sentiment. I've scaled it back a little bit. I'm leaning into the McVay should take care of his mental health, but I like the aggression that you're showing. It feels as if you and Sean McVay were in a bar, there'd be words between the two of you, and that's a showdown I'd like to see. BK from the Bay is coming in.
I'm in Texas, and this is in Texas. Sorry, I've been drinking. I told you I've been drinking.
Yeah, we knew going into the show that Randon's deterioration was going to happen live. We were going to get to watch it. Rigger 49er.
Mutual combat in Texas. You can have mutual combat in Texas.
I mean, it sounds like you got to take your glove off and freaking backhand him across the face to challenge.
Exactly
challenge, sir. Challenge. All right, Rigger 49er coming in with the super chat. Not drafting Rodgers is the worst mistake in 49er history. I hate that we drafted Alex Smith over him. I remember before the draft, I knew Rodgers was better. I developed a fondness for Alex Smith with the way in which he recovered his career after a horrible start with the Niners. I do think that it's a little bit of rewriting history to believe that Aaron couldn't have been rattled coming into that horrible Niners team. I mean, honestly, any quarterback can get shell-shocked. I'm not saying Rodgers would have. He might have been good enough to overcome it. It obviously was a talent differential between Aaron Rodgers and Alex Smith, and I think we did choose the wrong based on talent. But with the heart Alex Smith had, with the way in which his story turned around, I wouldn't rewrite it. I'm glad that we had Alex Smith in 49er lore.
I think this is one of the most overrated takes in Niner history. I think you're talking about first overall versus 20 something picked. Like, the Packers were way better suited for a quarterback at that point. Yeah. And he sat 3 years behind Brett Favre, a Hall of Famer. Like, you can't tell me that he was going to come in to the garbage team that were the Niners at that point and be Aaron Rodgers. Like, you couldn't tell me that.
Yeah, and right, sitting behind Favre, you can't discount the advantage that had. Raphael 5629 is asking about Elijah Mitchell. This is one I want to touch on before we end here because we're getting close to the hour mark on the post game. Do me that favor, hit the like button. All of Randon's information is down below. Thoughts on Elijah Mitchell today? I thought he looked like he was healthy, that there wasn't rust. And it adds an amazing 1-2-3 punch when you've got Christian McCaffrey, Elijah Mitchell, and Jordan frickin' Mason. Those three together is an amazing backfield.
I'm excited.
Amazing.
I'm
Super
excited.
Super excited.
You can't. Mitchell's my boy. Mitchell's my man. Like, I like him a lot. I think that he's not a reason to add another running back, but you don't want to pay another running back. Like, it's the conundrum, right? It's the conundrum. But McCaffrey, he's already been paid. He's there.
He's the perfect two. He really
Perfect.
is.
Perfect.
5+ yards per carry. He's that horse that you can take out, you can put in the game and like let him run the defense into the ground. And God, I'm excited for the playoffs.
Me too. Chris Ray coming in to agree on the Alex Smith take says, hey, yeah, I agree on the Alex Smith take. I don't think anybody would have looked good with that team that we had. It was rough. Elvis coming in to say, Rob, yes, looking forward to the next call-in show. Hopefully we can chop it up. It's been way too long, my friend. I agree. Taylor says, hey, it's my first time in the stream and an hour was not long enough. You just can't get enough of Rob and Randon. It is a dynamic duo. We got people coming in from Glasgow, Scotland, donating cash to the program. Purdy as QB1 ongoing. Or do we start Lance when fit, when healthy again? Purdy, in my opinion, Lance is still officially quarterback one. Is there a future battle with our quarterback one spot, Purdy or Lance? Absolutely. I think it has to be an open competition going into next season. Depending upon the playoffs, Brock Purdy could be the heavy favorite, especially amongst the fan base, to win that quarterback position. But I believe that you'll hear Brock Purdy and you will hear Kyle Shanahan talk about, hey, iron sharpens iron. We are going to compete. I don't think Brock Purdy is going to shy away from that at all, nor do I think Trey Lance will either. And in this rare case, I really do think iron will sharpen iron and the better of the two will come forward. And hell, maybe Kyle Shanahan does figure out a 2-quarterback system and you use Lance's legs and powerful arm in addition to what Purdy can do operating within this offense.
If Purdy doesn't win a Super Bowl, it's Lance's job, in my opinion.
We did give up a lot for Lance. Do you think that is the determining factor? The simple fact that we traded so many assets to pick up Lance, that it's his job?
Yeah. Because, I mean, like this, Purdy is not Purdy without injury. Like he is not a player without injury. So
that's true.
Their future, what they bet on, what they gave up is all with Lance. And I think that without Purdy winning the Super Bowl, it's Trey Lance, in my opinion.
Hey, man, I will be happy either way, even if it's an open competition. The fact that we have multiple options, that we have 2 quarterbacks on their rookie contracts, allowing us to extend Nick Bosa, potentially re-signing Mike McGlinchey. I know that's not going to be a popular one against amongst the fan base.
Yes, sign him.
But it is re-signing this line that's been phenomenal throughout here. Man, it is just super exciting. Couple of comments before we go. Texas Niner, thanks for the content, gentlemen. Go Niners. Time for Sunday Night Football. It is that time. Let's get going for it. Alan Eliza coming in, sneakerhead here on the channel. Rob and Randon, great show, gentlemen. Gore that like button. It means hit that hole. Make sure that you are pressing the like button on the way out so that more and more faithful can come in, watch this video, and celebrate with Randon and I. Clearly been doing a fair amount of celebration. Randon, good to have you on the program. Good to be dropping F-bombs as the Niners march into the playoffs. We are going to have a Between Two Beards this week, prepping for playoff game number 1. To anyone who asks, yes, regardless of what day that playoff game is happening in Santa Clara, yours truly will be there, and he will be sitting in a prime location within Levi's, because expenses be damned. At this point, we got to make a playoff run, and getting myself close to the right point on the field so that my energy can flow directly into, I don't know, say Kyle Shanahan's playbook. That's what's necessary at this point.
The curse has been broken, my man. And
2023 was all that needed to happen. New year, new streak.
New year, new streak. I like it.
Hey, I'm 1-0 in 2023. That's what's happening. Raphael 562 coming in to congratulate us on the show. I know you got a beverage there, Randon, so we can end this one on a positive note. Oh, hold your horses. Rigger 49er pausing the end of the show for a moment. If Trey Lance was healthy all year on this stack team, we would be just as good, and Trey would have been a better quarterback by now. I completely agree that Trey would have been a better quarterback than the beginning of the year. The development was what the Niners were relying upon. The strength of this team carrying Trey Lance was their thought process as well. I think this is very solid logic, Rigger 49er. I also believed in my predictions that the Niners would be far better in the second half of the season. I still believe Trey Lance can make that jump, and Brock Purdy is in the mix now, so it's hard to ignore that there will be a competition. going on there. Do you believe, Randon, that had Trey stayed healthy, we may still be sitting where we are now with Trey Lance having advanced as a quarterback throughout the season?
100%. The team would have been more volatile all year long. Like, he would have been trying to press the ball downfield, making mistakes. Great. But he would also had more long distance touchdowns. He would have had more rushing touchdowns. So I think this team would have been, plus minus the same. I think they would have been. Yeah.
I love it. Waveware coming in. Cheers, guys. The curse has been broken, and that's because Kyle's worked through his trust issues. Russell Peterson coming in to say, Rob's new job paying well. I see. The caretaker coming in to say goodbye. Cheers to you all. Let's fucking go. On that note, Randon, thank you for joining me today. I look forward to hosting a regularly scheduled Between Two Beards. Follow the two of us on Twitter so that you know when we are going live. Subscribe to the channel on YouTube. Hit the little bell notification so that you know, again, when we hit that live button, you can join these. If you haven't, smash the like button and subscribe. Do it on your way out. Randon's information is down below. Here we are,
Kings.
Randon, headed into the playoffs, my friend. And on that note, cheers to you all. We're going into the playoffs. And until next time, cheers, faithful.